All right, welcome back. So we just did a base of Enhance and some Vintage for a red underlay. So with whatever we put on top of her nails underneath, they're going to be red. So get that Louis Vuitton look. So I'm going to build her nail now because we're going to be building them quite long out of Structure. Structure is a very stiff viscosity gel. The next, I have a brand new one, so I need to pop it open. So the next viscosity layer is Balance, which has a little bit of bluing to it, so you can see that. But you can see if you look at the comparison, this one is, I guess in a sense they look kind of the same, but this one will actually move a little bit and this one won't move at all. So Structure is what I'm going to use to build out her structure. So it's a very stiff viscosity gel, and I should get this where you guys can see it. Sorry. Make sure we can get the video going. Okay, so I've got a nice, like, obscene amount is what Amy Becker likes to call this when you grab a bunch of gel. And hold your brush sideways, and you're going to press your brush down on the nail and roll it. And that's going to drop all of that gel onto the nail, and it makes it much easier at that point to just move it around. And you don't want to move it a lot. The more you play with it, the more bubbles you're going to get. But what you can do easily is pull it down to where you want it and then pull the rest off. And it leaves your extension layer on there very quickly and very easily. And you can see you've got a bit of an arch in there already. So it really helps to put a lot of gel on at once and roll it off. Okay, there's a little bit of bubbles in there, but bubbles are not really a concern because we're covering this with some art. So the trick with this gel really is to play with it as little as possible, and I was just playing with it too much, so don't play with this. So grab your brush, and I'm using a 106 brush. I use this for so much. And grab a nice big chunk. It's going to pull out of the pot really almost heavy. Come to your nail, hold it sideways, and roll down off of your brush. And that leaves all that gel right there. And I'm not trying to go up to the cuticle area. I'm going to do the cuticle area with that Balance. This is just to build your big arch for your nail and your extension. And I'm just going to pull this down over the nail and get the extra off the nail by just doing that. So it's just a really fast way to build your extension onto your client's nail, especially if you're building them this long. If you're making the nails totally clear and you need to worry about bubbles or things like that, I might switch gels. I might go with a gel that's almost more like a brush-on gel or a very thin viscosity gel, because if you play with this too much, you will get bubbles. But I'm notorious for wanting to play with it because it's fun. But if you look at the side, you can see that you already have a bit of an arch in there. It goes very, very easily onto the nail if you do this technique. So again, I'm going to grab a nice big bunch out of my pot, an obscene amount, Amy Becker's words, roll it off onto the center of the nail, and then pull it down. And when you're building a long extension like this, it just saves so much work from having to do layer after layer after layer. When you do apply this much gel, it can get warm, so your clients either need to be well trained or you need to walk them through the process of either turning the light on and off yourself, which is nice. It's nice to control it. Or Lorraine is like super well trained. She just does it herself. She'll just go in and out. If it starts to feel warm, she comes out. She's a good client. So again, I'm just kind of guessing where I want the length to be, and I want to make sure I get it at least as long as I want it. So if I shortened it too much, I'm going to pull down a little bit just to make sure I have enough product where I want it to be. But this is really the bulk of the nail. I'm only going to be building this nail in 2 steps for this long of an extension. So it can go very, very quickly once you get used to applying it like this. Again, grabbing a nice big ball, rolling it off onto the middle of the nail. And I'm just going to pull it down very lightly. Oh, there's a big bubble there. Very lightly over the tip. Less is more when it comes to playing with this too much. Any questions, Lorraine?
No, I'm thinking about what's for dinner.
No, she's thinking about what's for dinner. Does she always wear her nails that long? She does, and she's a hair braider extraordinaire, and these are her tools. So she does wear them this long. I will actually make her wear them shorter than she wants to sometimes, because I have rules.
She has rules, and she trained me, so
yeah.
I can't really argue with her.
Yeah, yeah. If she gets them to where she's getting them caught on things and breaks them, she has to go a little shorter. So she gets excited when she comes in and it's been a good amount of time and she hasn't broke any. I won't shorten them. So I only really make her shorten them if she breaks them. So, and we're talking shorten them, meaning like a week or two grow out. They're still really long. Alright, so as you can see, lots and lots of gel. You want to get most of your nail built with this first step. This is the structure. It's a really good, super awesome hard gel, and it's going to make doing your second layer and finishing the nail really easily, but it is very thick to work with. Do you see this? If I'm trying to add gel, how much more bubbles you're going to get. So I wanted to show you this because it's going to be easier on you and you might get less frustrated with any bubbles in your gel if you add after this step. So if you're doing nails this long, do your extension with your structure, unless for some reason you're doing them super clear and you need to make them completely bubble free, then don't bump please. Then you might want to use a little bit thinner viscosity gel, but for the sake of building really long nails and getting them on there with a really good structure and quickly, structure is your friend. Because doing this with a runnier gel, you're going to have to flash cure a little bit more often, things like that. This is really easy to just get your gel on there, pull out your extension, and you're good to go. And it doesn't, you know, if you're not playing with it too much, you really don't get that many bubbles. And I have a couple right here just from where I rolled it. And you can use a pen, pen and pop your bubbles if you have a problem with that, or just leave them. Her nails are getting covered up with color anyway, so it really does not matter that there's little tiny bubbles. This is real world nails, people. Alright, so I'm going to grab a nice big chunk. Roll it off here. And pull down. So, do I have a lot of clients that wear nails this long? No. I work in the real world, and I do not have very many clients who wear this nails this long. Lorraine and her sister, Shayla, like to wear their nails very long. Everybody else wears them about a fourth this long. So we're talking just a regular fingertip length where, you know, you shorten them to their fingertips and then 2 weeks later they're, oh my gosh, my nails are so long. Really short.
Will you film the rest of this video?
I can. Do you want me to?
Sure. And then will you finish file these?
Yes, I will be finished filing these, and I do all my finish filing by hand because I'm a total nerd when it comes to that. I just always have. I'll do some of my finish filing by e-file. Basically what I'm going to be doing is just my edges and my sides with my e-file, but all my top surface finish filing will all be by hand. I'm too particular. I can't be as precise with an electric file as I can my e-file, or as I can my hand file. So, yes. All right, you guys. I'll keep videoing late into the night. No one else is doing nails this late? Come on. I only got here at 7 this morning. Playing catch up. Okay, grab a little bit more. I did not grab as much as I needed to. So I'm going to grab a little bit more and try to carefully get this in here without trying to create too many crazy bubbles. One of my other brushes that I really like for sculpturing, I'll probably grab that for my next coat. Because this one's okay for sculpturing. I really, really like it for a 30-day manicure. But my favorite for sculpturing is actually the oval brush. So I think I'm going to grab that in a minute for doing my next coat. Didn't quite grab enough on this one. That's okay. I'm going to grab a little bit more. And I'm just going to float this nice big ball down over her tip, because I want to have a nice strong extension. Okay, nice strong extension. Are you playing with your phone? Everybody's playing with their phone. Don't you love when clients twist their hands over sideways?
I'm so sorry.
It's alright. It's just good that other nail techs know that they're not alone with their clients behaving badly. You know there's a book called Clients Behaving Badly? Mm-hmm. It's all about you. Just kidding. No, there's some good books. I actually have some books on my web store at lovenails.com. I have a book by Lise Bowles called Nail Care Nightmares. All right, go ahead and put that in. That one is available at lovenails.com. And I have some amazing nail art books that I imported from Singapore that Catherine Wong did. So I have those in a limited selection. They're a little bit expensive, but they are art books. They're unbelievable. So I'm going to grab a different brush. I am going to look in my world of brushes here. This is like my brush mecca. And I'm going to grab this one right here. And this is my Oval 111 brush. And it's a really nice sculpturing brush. If I wanted to squeeze her, and I didn't squeeze her on this. This isn't competition. It's Real Red Nails. But if I wanted to squeeze her, I would have cured this. I would have done one nail at a time. I would have cured it for a few seconds. And I would have pinched her as it started getting warm, and that would work. So, all right, so next I'm going to use my balance, and this one's going to move a little bit more. Let me make sure it's clean, my brush. This one's going to move a little bit more. Let's see if I can get this in camera when I go to grab my gel. So it's still a little bit stiff. I think it's because it's a little bit cold. If I put this gel over in front of my heater, after a few minutes it's going to move much runnier, which is good and bad, because if you don't want a runny gel, it's going to be a pain in the butt. But if you want something that moves a little bit more, the slightest bit of heat will make it what you want. So I'm just pushing it just a little bit around the cuticle, and then I'm just going to float this over the whole nail. And what it's going to do is it's going to fill in some of those divots that the structure created, and it's going to add enough product around my cuticle so that I can finish file. And that's it. So most of the product that I added was in that first step. So again, I'm just going to roll it off and push around the cuticle, not touching the cuticle. You always can leave a good like credit card thickness around the cuticle because your color and stuff is going to go there. So if you have too much product there, you've got to file that out and file it really smooth before you get your color on there, and it's a lot harder to do if it's really up into the cuticle. So leave a good gap around that. It doesn't need to be super close. I'm really very, if you watch my videos, I like to get really close to the cuticle with my color, and if you have too much product back there, you can't. So again, what it's doing is it's filling in the gaps and the bumps and the divots from structure. So again, your structure doesn't have to be perfect because your balance is going to do some of the work for you when you do this layer. You could do this with Enhance. It is going to move quite a bit more. If I was doing a short extension, I would use Balance instead of Structure, and then I would use Enhance instead of this layer. So I would use the same technique, but I would use it kind of just a little bit runnier. But for this length of nail, I like to use Structure and Balance. So the reason that Accents has different gels is so that it can work the way that you work. There's no wrong or right way. If you like to use all Balance all day, all the time, cool. Totally fine. If you like to use Enhance all day, all the time, totally fine. I just use a combination of gels to give me the fastest results for what I'm trying to achieve. So in this situation, I'm trying to get really nice, long nails, get enough product so when I go to finish file, I'm not having to deal with so many bumps. Do you guys see that from the side now? You're up too far, honey. From the side, see how that's quite a bit smoother just with that layer of Balance. So it's pretty easy to get that second layer in there and have it help you. Now, it's a slick layer. So if I find that I have a low spot and I want a little bit more gel, I can drizzle some in there and it'll start to self-level into that slick layer. So you can use that to your advantage as well. I see it. Someone was playing with her phone and got fuzz from the table.
I was going to get yelled at. I had to respond one way or another. Since Jared or Andre don't want to bring us dinner.
What?
He wanted to know what he was going to eat. I'm thinking like, what am I going to eat?
Your husband wanted to know what he was going to eat?
I'm the one getting my nails done.
He needs to get you dinner. That's just silly. Silly men. Alright. And this is a little bit of a low spot over here, so I'm going to make sure there's enough gel. I'm much happier having lots of gel on the nail to file off than having to come back and add more because I got a low spot. I hate doing that. It drives me crazy. It messes up the whole mojo of the filing process. So I'd rather have too much than too little. Alright, looking at the side. Plenty of gel. Alright, go ahead and put that in. Hi, Patty. I know, it's going to be pretty. I don't know what we're doing on her. I think we might just be doing the Wildflowers hologram unicorn pigment over some pink. So simple, but effective, and she's sure going to get lots of attention with that. And these fun red bottom nails. She likes attention. Just a little bit. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like attention? It's always fun when clients come back and say, oh my goodness, I got so many compliments on my nails. It makes us feel good. We may not say anything, but it makes us nail techs feel good. So,
Joined us a little late. She said, what's happening here? Tips?
yes, Patty, we did a brand new extension. So these are actually red underlay. So her nails from underneath are going to be red, but the top will be whatever design they are at the time. So they'll grow out this way. So she'll have red tips because she's going to wear them quite long. She'll have red somewhat on her nails as it grows out for many months. So it'll be less and less, obviously, as her natural nail grows out, but it will be there. So this is just Balance. It's kind of filling in the gaps and the back of the nail. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and get offline and finish the last few nails up here, and then I'll wipe her down, take her forms off, and I'll come back and we'll go through some filing. That sounds good to y'all. Now, Patty, my dear, if you want red tips like this underneath, you would have to book a removal and a full set because we have to take them all off and start over. Because I know in your little mind you're thinking, how can I get that next time? That's how you have to get it.
Okay, waiting. That's what she said.
I love Patty. She's one of those so fun clients. She works at Nordstrom in Bellevue. So if any of you are ever shopping in the Bellevue Nordstrom and you want a personal shopper, Patty is the person to see. She has impeccable taste, and she is so fun.
Which department is she in?
Which department are you in, Patty?
Because I'm there all the time.
You can't miss her. She's got awesome, like, short blonde hair, and she's so spunky. She just said she'll behave. This is a little bit delayed, so she'll tell us what department she's in a second. Individualist department. All right, so go see Patty at the individualist department. She's awesome. She drives from Puyallup, so you thought you had to drive from Renton. She gets in her car, and she'll be here at 8 o'clock appointment sometimes. She has to leave at like 6.
Dedicated.
She's dedicated. She loves me. She really likes me. I love clients that like me. Alright. Make sure your thumb gets in there really good. Alright, so that's it for sculpturing them out. And I'll be right back and we'll go through filing.